what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'd like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. This is the official Lightning Flash update for May 1st, 2021. My, oh my, what an intro! As it always is every single week, you already know who the greatest intro in the IWC is. Ladies and gents, we got a loaded show here for you today. Lots of big stories, lots of news to dissect, lots of material to go over. We got a huge story about a WWE president making WWE more mainstream. Yeah, like that's really going to help the product. Like that's really going to fucking help the product. We got plans for a team, a former team from NXT who are actually NXT Tag Team Champions. That plan for them to reunite on the main roster got next. We're going to go over that. Plus, I got news on Mansoor's winning streak. So, I got one question for you. Are you ready for a good time, ladies and gents? Let us check the chat. Where the posse at? Where the posse at? We got Peanuts. We got my number one mod, DD. We got Brian King. How are you? We got Cool King 89707, a.k.a. Rob Wells Jr. We got Adam Carl. And on top of that, we got Nathan Kress. How are you doing? Lots of good people in the chat. And holy shit, we're only 3 minutes in and we already got 15 likes. That right there is what I like to see. That right there is what I like to see. The posse coming in the clutch. The posse coming in the clutch. And yeah, we also got Hibiki TMD. Yeah, we also got this nerd in the chat as well. Oh, by the way, if anyone didn't see Hibiki's Twitter, he actually had a guy dressed in all HBK attire, like the classic HBK from the 1990s attire. Matching shoes, matching pants, matching jacket, and everything. He posted that on Twitter, and I'm like, this is passion. That's what I like to see. You don't find that anymore. You really don't. But we got a lot of material to dissect. We got a lot of material to go over. We got all these big stories coming out of this week to close out the month of April and begin the month of May. Plus 5 weekly show reviews: Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, NXT UK, and Smackdown on Fox from last night. Lots of material to go over. Thank you all for joining me here on the Lightning Flash Update. Now, before we get into the major news, rumors, and reports we got here to begin the month of May, I need y'all to do a few things. You gotta get through a few self-brand promotions and advertisements. First things first. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit the like button. It is vital that the like button is hit. So far we got 16. We're going to see if we can get to 30. 30 likes is the goal as per usual. Of course, follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. The Twitter sticks at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Please make sure you follow me on Instagram as well at the DJ Storms. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver at gmail.com. like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook as well. All the links are in the description. Like I said, please hit that like button. Hit the like button. We are looking to get to 30 likes. That is the goal each and every single week for the Lightning Flash update. We did great for the last 3 videos in terms of views. The last 3 videos in terms of views, they each peaked 200 plus views. So that is fucking huge. The rewind for WrestleMania night number 2 and the last 2 Lightning Flash updates each peaked 200 plus views. So if we can get 200 views on this Lightning Flash update to begin the month of May, that would be fucking awesome. I want you guys to get as many people in here as possible. I want you guys to share the stream out. It is vital that you share the stream out because that's how you get more likes. That's how we get more people in here. We got Kevin Fiola. How you doing? Please make sure you hit that like button and you share the stream out because we want to get as many concurrent viewers in here as possible. Everybody wants some DJ Storms. I need y'all to share it out on all platforms of social media, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, any type of social media platform that you got. Please make sure you share out the stream. It is vital, ladies and gentlemen, so that way we can get everybody in here. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your grandfathers, your grandmothers, your cousins, your second cousins, your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenths, your dogs, your cats, and especially your guinea pigs, because I have so many fucking articles launched in my laptop that they're taking up all this fucking storage. I gotta clear it out. But I have read so many articles that guinea pigs are said to have lived longer, happy, healthy, fruitful lives when they get a little dose of DJ Storms in their life. So if you got a guinea pig and you want him or her to live a long, happy, healthy, fruitful life, you got to make sure you notify that DJ Storms is live on YouTube.com on a Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with the Lightning Flash update. It's vital, people. It's extremely vital. Of course, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to expand. I'm trying to get my name out there, so be sure you hit the subscribe button so that way we can get as many people in the chat as possible and we can get as many people on DJ Storms' posse as possible. We got Dylan Catch'em. How you doing? Thank you for hitting that like button. We're at 18 likes and we're not even 10 minutes into the stream. Holy shit. That's gotta be a record. Danielle says she's going to get a guinea pig and name him DJ Storms. I mean, why wouldn't you name a guinea pig DJ Storms? It's the best name ever. Come on. Of course, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button and be sure you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. I mean, come on. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combo. This beautiful mustache right here. Yeah, give me 1 second. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. I mean, come on. Come on. Don't worry. I'm going to be getting a haircut next week. I'm going to be getting a haircut next week, and I got to touch this up. You're damn right, Adam. That is Backlash from 2009 playing in the background. You are not going to find that type of material in the modern-day WWE because the modern-day WWE is shit. Give me 1 second. Speaking of shit, my allergies are fucking killing me. My allergies are fucking killing me. The pollen is out. The bees are pollinating the fucking flowers. My car, I have a black Jeep Patriot. It is fucking drenched with pollen. I swear to God. I absolutely fucking hate it. Look at this. Not even 10. We got 19 likes. 19 likes. Kevin Fiola says the best time when DJ Storms is on YouTube. You damn right. Nathan says you got a pet dog. Dog works too. Dog works too. Anyway, I will check the chat after we're done with the news, rumors, and reports. I will check the chat after we're done with the news, rumors, and reports. But enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. It is extremely, extremely vital. Holy shit! Holy shit, is that 21 likes that I see? What is going on over here? Is that 20 likes or 21? I'm not sure, but either way, shit's going down, ladies and gents. I think it may be 20. Yeah, it's 20. It's 20. So we got 20 likes. 20 likes. That is fucking huge. Thank you so much, people. Keep sharing it out. Keep sharing it out. We want more than just 20 likes. We want to get to 30, to 40, to 50. Anyway, we got a lot of news, rumors, and reports to talk about. We got a lot of big stories. I'm going to check the chat after we are done with the news, rumors, and reports. But my first report comes from Fightful Select. My first report comes from Fightful Select. According to Fightful Select, WWE actually nixed plans for former NXT Tag Team Champions to reunite on the main roster. There were pitches from WWE Creative to reunite Wesley Blake with Buddy Murphy following the release of Steve Cutler. Obviously, that idea was shut down. Now, first things first, all I'm going to say is this just proves that WWE does not know fucking talent, they don't give a shit, and they hate tag team wrestling. I mean, I don't really know what more I can say. The WWE right now is in such a state of disarray outside of Roman Reigns and maybe Apollo Crews. Those two aspects of Raw and SmackDown are the only redeeming aspects about the main roster product as a whole. There is nothing across Raw and SmackDown outside of Roman Reigns and maybe Apollo Crews that is worth investing your time in. Nothing on Monday Night Raw is worth investing your time in. Those two individuals, Apollo and Roman, they're only on SmackDown. WWE is in such a state of disarray where literally everything just feels flat, including the tag team division. I mean, the tag team division, they felt flat for years now. And it's obvious that they're not going to combine the tag team divisions, so why don't you make do with what you got? You actually have the resources for a tag team division on Raw. You got the Viking Raiders, you got the New Day, you got the Lucha House Party, you got Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. RK Bro is now a thing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You got Jackson Riker and Elias, who could be a tag team. You got Miz and Morrison. Instead of this fucking comedy bullshit and singing, hey, hey, ho, ho, hey, hee, 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 ha, ha, you can actually make them a serious fucking threat in the tag team division, but you choose not to. You actually have the resources for a tag team. You could unite Humberto and Angel Garza. Turn Humberto heel, unite him with Angel Garza, his real-life cousin. That's an 8th tag team. You actually have the resources on Raw for a tag team division. You just choose not to do so. And on SmackDown, all you have is 4 teams. You got the Street Profits, the Mysterios, the Dirty Dogs, and then Otis and Chad Gable. If you want to, you could have actually reunited Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, added a 5th tag team, and on top of that, you would have actually made some use out of Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy. You would have made some use out of him. It's clear as day that you're not going to push Buddy Murphy as a single star, even though he deserves to be pushed as a single star. Guy was putting on Match of the Year candidates. He was putting on Match of the Year candidates on 205 Live with Tony Nese, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander. Now, he can't even catch one single break outside of being Seth Rollins' disciple during that feud with the Mysterios on Monday Night Raw. Then he was traded over to SmackDown, and you have not used him since he broke away from Seth Rollins, and that feud with the Mysterios was over. I honest to God, I honestly don't fucking understand. You need to start pushing some new stars, and you need to develop some new fucking stars, because right now, again, there is no interest in the main roster product outside of Roman Reigns. And on top of that, since you fucking released Steve Cutler, unjustifiably so, and you had nothing for Buddy Murphy, you actually could have gotten some use out of Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake, who actually were a great tag team in NXT. I didn't really appreciate them back when they were first around, but they held the NXT tag team titles for around like 200 days. They were very, very good as a tag team, as a unit, during the beginning stages of NXT back in 2015, before NXT became the best thing in all of pro wrestling, obviously before Vince McMahon ruined it. But this just goes to show you that WWE just doesn't give a shit. They don't give a shit about tag team wrestling. They don't give a shit about the betterment of their own product. They don't give a shit about their talent. They don't. And the only reason why they're keeping a guy like Buddy Murphy employed is so that way he doesn't go elsewhere and prove them wrong. Simple as that. Moving on, I got some news on Mansoor. Not sure if you heard that one. Heard about that one in a while. Mansoor, he is a Saudi Arabian recruit, and WWE's got this Saudi Arabian deal, and they recruited Mansoor, who's actually a very good pro wrestler. If you haven't seen Mansoor wrestle, he's actually very good. I am an advocate for Mansoor. He is very, very, very impressive. He has really gelled to the WWE style. And he's very, 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 very agile. He's very fluid in the ring. I like that. But I got some news on Dave Meltzer reporting on the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Mansoor's winning streak, which has been primarily built up on 205 Live and Main Event, is being done to appease the benefactors in Saudi Arabia. He's the benefactors in Saudi Arabia. That's it. That's the deciding factor that you have. That's the deciding factor that is going to drive you to send someone on a fucking winning streak. The benefactors in Saudi Arabia. That's the only reason why you're pushing the guy? So Dave Meltzer wrote, and I quote, "The Mansoor winning streak, which is never referred to as much, but he's on Main Event almost every week winning and hasn't lost a match since August 23rd, 2019, losing in Sanford, Florida to Dominik Dijakovic, and had a TV loss to Damian Priest the week earlier, is to appease the benefactors in Saudi Arabia. It is interesting politically that they would have the win streak, but never acknowledge it in the US, and not put it on Raw or SmackDown with the idea of attempting to push him as a legit international star." End quote. Once again, this goes back to what I said about the Wesley Blake Buddy Murphy incident. It's all leading back to WWE just not giving a fuck. They just don't give a fuck. They're merely pushing this Mansoor winning streak to appease the benefactors in Saudi Arabia because they haven't been able to go back to Saudi Arabia because of COVID. The last time they were able to go back to Saudi Arabia was a year ago, plus in February of 2020, where you had Goldberg beat The Fiend. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to be reminded of that, but it's a very important piece of history because that was the date in which Bray Wyatt's career as The Fiend died. But Mansoor, I don't understand why WWE wouldn't capitalize on the opportunity to push Mansoor as a legitimate threat, as a legitimate star. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be a world fucking champion, but we're pretty much looking at the Saudi Arabian version of Aleister Black. Remember what happened with Aleister Black before he went away? He won. He literally beat everybody in his fucking path. He was on like a 50-match winning streak, and he received 0 championship title opportunities. How the fuck is that even logical? Again, this is something that's just going to go right over everyone's head, but not me, because I pay attention. Mansoor has been winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. What is he going to fucking get? And that just goes to show you that WWE doesn't give a shit about logic, they don't give a shit about wins and losses, and they don't give a fuck about their talent or building new stars. They just do shit. It's like what Heath Ledger said in The Dark Knight. I'm like a dog that chases cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I got one. I just do things. That's what WWE does. They just fucking do things. They don't think. Meanwhile, you actually have the opportunity to build up someone as a legitimate international star, because every other international star that you got your hands on, you fucking destroyed. You fucking made Akira Tozawa into fucking Kung Fu Naki 2.0. Nakamura's a glorified jobber. Rusev, Miro, don't even get me started. The list goes on and on. But you actually have the potential to make Mansoor a legitimate international star. You could have given him an NXT North American title opportunity, push him in the Cruiserweight division against Kushida, call him up to the main roster, make him a solid US champion, a solid Intercontinental champion. He's not world fucking title material, but he's got a lot of value that could be offered to whatever brand he's associated with, but instead you choose to keep him on main event and fucking 205 Live instead of actually pushing him on one of these major shows. Why? Because, we gotta appease the benefactors in Saudi Arabia until we can actually go back to Saudi Arabia once COVID is over. Why is it that Saudi Arabia or the TV ratings or fucking AEW, why does there need to be an outside factor that always determines whether or not someone goes on a winning streak or you legitimately push a guy? Why can't you push a guy because you want to create a new star and you want your company to get better? And again, it goes to show you that WWE just doesn't give a shit. Now we get the Saudi Arabian version of Aleister Black. Mansoor wins and wins and wins and wins, and he gets nothing. Completely fucking illogical. It's illogical. We mentioned Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, RK Bro. I actually got some news on RK Bro. So according to Fightful Select, by way of cage side seats, WWE's plan after WrestleMania was for Matt Riddle's program with Sheamus to continue. Obviously, plans changed. So Fightful wrote, and I quote, "Those backstage in WWE said Orton was in favor of working with Riddle, and the changes were made." End quote. Now, I understand people's concerns. I do. I understand people's concerns. I understand that people don't really like Randy Orton as a babyface. Neither do I. Randy Orton just doesn't come off as genuine as a babyface. I get it. Matt Riddle deserves to be higher up on the card. I get it. But the way that I'm looking at this as a positive, specifically because of the fact that, number one, the last 2 weeks, Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, they've been the best thing on Monday Night Raw. Now, again, that's a very, very small ceiling because anything on Monday Night Raw can be the best thing if you just allow them to do what they normally do. Because Monday Night Raw, everything on Monday Night Raw sucks, so it doesn't really take a lot of effort to actually be halfway decent when it comes to Monday Night Raw with a very, very small ceiling. But regardless, Matt Riddle and Randy Orton have been the best thing on the show, number one. Number two, Randy Orton, there's been nothing that we've actually been invested in with Randy Orton ever since his first match with Drew McIntyre all the way back at SummerSlam. That's number two. Number three, Matt Riddle right now, he's stuck in a position where he's in mid-card purgatory. And he needs something that's going to really help him break through and really get in the good graces of management. Now, Randy Orton, he has a very influential voice backstage, if you think about it. He has a very, very influential voice backstage. Of course, Randy Orton was the guy that got Mr. Kennedy fired because Mr. Kennedy accidentally dropped him on his injured shoulder. He was the guy that stopped Kofi Kingston from getting into the main event scene 9 years prior to Kofi Mania at WrestleMania 35. Randy Orton, he is one of the talents that has direct say about who he works with, who he doesn't want to work with, who gets to the top, who doesn't get to the top. Randy Orton is a very, very, very influential figure backstage. He has a lot of pull backstage. And if Randy Orton was in favor of working with Matt Riddle, that means that he likes Matt Riddle. And if Randy Orton likes you, that's going to bode well for you over time. If Matt Riddle is in the good graces of Randy Orton and RK Bro goes forth as a legitimate thing and they win the tag team titles and Randy Orton's actually out there enjoying himself, and I sense the vibe. I sense the vibe on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton legitimately looked like he's enjoying himself. He's literally enjoying himself. So if that's the case, then once this little RK Bro experiment is over, and Randy Orton and Matt Riddle go into a program after they win the titles and after they lose the titles, Randy turns heel on Matt Riddle. Randy could advocate for Matt Riddle to go over him in a one-on-one match. Matt Riddle gets a victory over Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle, down the line, could be positioned, possibly, to fight for the World Championship by the beginning of 2022. So Randy Orton could very well be Matt Riddle's gateway into the main event scene where we all know Matt Riddle should be. So I don't mind RK Bro. I don't mind RK Bro because it's really going to be a glaring positive for Matt Riddle. If Randy Orton is in favor of working with you, Randy Orton could become an advocate backstage for Matt Riddle. We'll see how it goes. Wishful thinking, we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely going to bode well for Matt Riddle. If Randy Orton likes working with you, only good things will come in your future. I'd like to hope. For those of you who were not aware, Kenny Omega, who is the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion, he is wrestling at Under Siege on May 15th. He is teaming up with the Good Brothers to take on Finjuice and Eddie Edwards. That should be a damn good match, for those of you wondering. And we also got a number one contenders six-way, I believe, like a six-pack challenge of some sort. And the winner will face Kenny Omega. It looks like Sami Callihan could very well be lined up for Kenny Omega. I'm not sure if that's going to be on Impact or if that's going to be on AEW. We're going to talk about that when we get to the AEW portion of the review. But this is the big story. This is the biggest story that I got right here, and you're going to want to strap in because holy shit, I really don't even know what to say as far as this report goes. Now, this piece of information was taken directly from an article written by Cultaholic. According to Mike Johnson, that is, of PW Insider, WWE President Nick Khan, no relation to AEW President Tony Khan, has been given great power and leniency. Or excuse me, not leniency, leeway. Great power and leeway. I can't even fucking read my own handwriting. Great power and leeway by Vince McMahon to transition WWE into more of a mainstream entertainment company, and the recent hires from Creative Arts Agency are to carry out Khan's vision and help the company expand into the entertainment world. Khan wants to position WWE as something similar to Marvel or DC and lean heavily on the company's intellectual property. His new hires in the communications department are there to sell WWE to Hollywood and elsewhere. I don't even know where to begin with this. I really don't know where to begin with this. Mainstream entertainment. Mainstream entertainment. That's your answer. That's your answer to the depleting ratings. Mainstream entertainment. Marvel and DC. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that we're going to have Drew McIntyre walking around dressed as fucking Wolverine? Does that mean we're going to have Braun Strowman painted green and he's going to walk around dressed as the Incredible Hulk? That's your answer. That's your answer to the depleting ratings and the depleting interest in your product. Mainstream entertainment. If that does not go to show you how out of touch the WWE management production team and the WWE management crew really is, I don't know what to tell you. And this is just Vince McMahon, once again, dancing around the actual issue. The times have changed. The times have changed. This shit don't work anymore. Sports entertainment, they can't even get sports entertainment correctly. That's a dead concept in its own right. How are you gonna fucking succeed in mainstream entertainment if you can't even succeed at sports entertainment? Oh, and by the way, mainstream entertainment sucks. You don't believe me? Just look at the Oscar ratings. Oscar ratings were 3 million last year, nearly 3 million. Now, they couldn't even peak 9 million. Why? Because mainstream entertainment sucks. Mainstream entertainment is garbage. And it goes hand in hand with the WWE product. Mainstream entertainment, that is your answer. That is your answer. I don't even need to go that in-depth on this. I don't even need to go that in-depth on this. All I'm going to tell you is, if this follows through, and Vince McMahon actually allows Nick Khan to carry out this vision, and Nick Khan puts this forth, and we actually see mainstream entertainment making his way into WWE, I'm telling you right now, the ratings will only continue to go down. The ratings will continue to go down. Look at what AEW is doing. AEW certainly ain't a perfect product, but they are running a sports-based product. That is what people want when it comes to pro wrestling nowadays. Instead, you're shoving away your core audience. Why? For a few weeks of ratings above 2 million, only for them to shoot right back down? If people in the mainstream entertainment industry watch what we got on Monday Night Raw with fucking Damian Priest and the New Day chucking tomatoes at Miz Morrison, Jackson Ryker, and Elias, and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke throwing buckets of water on Shayna Baszler, they would fucking laugh. They would fucking laugh, and they would brush it off like nothing. They would say, oh yeah, you want to transition this into mainstream entertainment, meanwhile you can't even get this fucking aspect of entertainment right? The entertainment is the wrestling. Then you develop serious storylines, intriguing characters that don't have anything to do with soap opera-like shows or mainstream entertainment or sports entertainment. You get rid of that shit. It needs to die. Die! You take a look at what AEW is doing. AEW has been doing some great ratings. Great fucking ratings. One of the best shows on TNT. AEW peaked its second and third best ratings ever in a fucking pandemic era. 1.2 million and 1.1 million. Peaked its best ratings ever in a pandemic era. Second and third best ratings ever in a pandemic era. Why? Because they get professional wrestling. They grasp the concept of pro wrestling. They are doing wrestling right. Not perfect, but they are doing wrestling right. Sports-driven product with people that are serious, determined, focused. There's no such thing as sports entertainment on AEW. It's wrestling. AEW is not sports entertainment. It is wrestling. And thus, they're doing very well. They have all of these working relationships. The television deal is great. They got great ratings. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, well, what happened this past Wednesday? They went down under 1 million. Yeah, no shit they did. You're not going to have 1 million every fucking week. And on top of that, the card this week on paper was very, very weak. No one expected the show this week for AEW to be as good as it was. The card on paper did not look very good. But this ain't about AEW. We'll talk about AEW when we get to the AEW portion of the show. I'm going to say it again. If this carries out and we actually see mainstream entertainment transition onto WWE television, the ratings will only continue to go down, and their ratings will be under 1.5 million by the end of the year. Guarantee it. The ratings are only going to continue to dip. The product is dying, and this is part of the reason why it's dying. Nobody gives a shit about mainstream entertainment. Mainstream entertainment sucks. Moving on. I got some news on where AJ Styles and Omos are. AJ Styles and Omos. They are the Raw Tag Team Champions, if you don't already know, and they have been missing since WrestleMania. According to Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Newsletter, anyone that hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania is not injured. Really? Not injured. They're not injured. They're just not being used because WWE has nothing for them creatively. This is the reason why AJ Styles and Omos have not been seen since they won the tag team titles from the New Day at WrestleMania night number 1. Wow. Wow. Raw Tag Team Champions. The Raw Tag Team Champions have nothing creatively for them. If you don't find anything wrong with that, then something must be wrong with your brain. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Get those titles off of AJ and Omos. If you don't have anything creatively for them, then just get the fucking titles off of them. Get the fucking titles off of them. And get AJ away from Omos. Get him away from Omos. Seriously. Get him the fuck away from Omos. Omos is nothing. He has no value. No one gives a shit about him as a manager, so why would we give a shit about him as an in-ring competitor and a tag team champion? Get AJ Styles in the mid-card fighting Sheamus and Damian Priest and Ricochet and Humberto. And Garza. I don't know why the fuck Garza's still floating around trying to play footsies with fucking Nia Flapjacks. Nothing creatively for them. Good job. Good job. I actually got a report from SE Scoops. This is actually a pretty interesting report. Source claims that Tessa Blanchard and her husband Daga are signing with AEW. The site claims that them signing with AEW is quote-unquote all but a formality. These discussions between the two and AEW have been going on for over a month now. Now, this has been creating some speculation, especially since we did get a promo package for Diamond Mine on NXT this week, and a lot of people have been associating that with Tessa Blanchard, and we could potentially see Tessa Blanchard on NXT. Now, with that being speculation, and this being a report, with Tessa Blanchard signing with AEW, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. At this rate, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to think, but here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. AEW does not need Tessa Blanchard, and I'm going to tell you why they don't need Tessa Blanchard. I understand why people think that they do. I understand that because they really want to make the women's division a solid foundation in AEW. I understand. But if you think about this for a minute, and this has nothing to do with their past, this has nothing to do with allegations, this has nothing to do with attitude problems. Attitude problems and allegation, that can be fixed over time. Time heals all wounds. So if you're still looking to cancel Tessa Blanchard, move the fuck on. Get on with your fucking pathetic lives. I'm not talking about any of these allegations. I'm not talking about any of these attitude problems. I'm talking about from a wrestling standpoint, from a wrestling standpoint, AEW does not need Tessa Blanchard specifically because the women's division right now is a work in progress to a point where if Tessa Blanchard comes in now, then she's going to be placed above everyone else and no one's going to feel on her level. If Tessa is to come into AEW, I wouldn't mind that, but I would wait a few years. Why? Because I actually want to see the women's division develop, and I actually want to see women like Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Ty Conti, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa, Big Swole. I want to see these women get on the level of a Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard right now, whether you love her or you hate her, she is the best women's wrestler in the world. That is a fucking fact. She is the best women's wrestler in the world. There is absolutely nobody right now that can touch Tessa Blanchard in terms of an in-ring perspective. Not even Sasha Banks, and I love Sasha Banks. Tessa Blanchard's the best women's wrestler in the world. If she comes in, she's gonna feel like the queen of the division from day one. No one's going to feel equal to her. The division right now is a work in progress, and until we actually get a nice, solid vibe, until we actually get a nice, solid foundation for that division, until the division actually has a solid group of women that are on the level of Tessa Blanchard does not need to come on into All Elite Wrestling, because if she does, she's going to be placed above everyone else, and everyone else is going to be playing catch-up to Tessa Blanchard. I don't like that. I want everyone to be on the same level. I want a nice solid foundation of individuals on the same level. And right now there is nobody on the level of a Tessa Blanchard. Shida, not yet. She's getting there. She's getting there. She just needs better booking. Britt Baker, we'll see how Britt Baker does with this World Championship title reign. Thunder Rosa, hit or miss. Thunder Rosa is fantastic. On the level of a Tessa Blanchard, I don't know. You can make that debate. It's up for debate in multiple different areas. But as we speak right now, people are going to look at Tessa Blanchard as the queen of that division because of how good she is as a women's wrestler. She is the best in the world when it comes to women's wrestling. Plain and simple. Whether you like it or not. But if she comes into AEW, she's going to be looked at as the queen of that division, and she's going to be pushed over everyone else. Plain and simple. Now, if she goes to NXT, there are already a lot of women who are on Tessa Blanchard's level. Toni Storm and Dakota Kai, Mercedes Martinez, Io Shirai. A lot of people who are really, really closer to Tessa Blanchard's level rather than the women in AEW. I can only name about maybe 2 or 3 women that are close to Tessa Blanchard's level in AEW. In NXT, there are a lot more women who are closer to Tessa Blanchard's level. So with NXT, Tessa Blanchard, she would have a lot more to work with. And everyone else, they're not really going to be playing catch-up to Tessa Blanchard because they would already be at that level, like a Toni Storm, like an Io Shirai, like a Dakota Kai, or a Candice LeRae, or an Ember Moon, if you know what I'm saying. That would work out a lot better. We'll see what happens, but I'm not going to be mad. I'm definitely not going to be mad if Tessa Blanchard signs with AEW because it's going to be a very, very, very intriguing scenario, and a lot of people are going to be watching AEW, and it's really going to give the women's division a sense of urgency, which I really wouldn't mind, but I just don't want other women. I don't want other women like Cargill and Red Velvet and Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander. I don't want those women to be shoved down a peg because Tessa Blanchard's coming on in. Because if Tessa Blanchard comes on in, Britt Baker is ultimately losing that title to Tessa Blanchard. There's no way you're going to bring in Tessa Blanchard and not give her the women's championship at the hands of the biggest heel in the women's division. They could very well turn Britt Baker into a babyface because Tessa Blanchard, she still has a lot of nasty vibes surrounding her with attitude and these allegations. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Let's check the chat before we move on to Monday Night Raw. Earl Cole, I don't give a shit how good reality television shows do. The ratings don't mean shit. Mainstream entertainment sucks. It sucks. That is a fact. And I can absolutely speak for other fans. Matter of fact, I can say whatever I want. You already know this. You already know this, man. You already know how the drill goes on my channel, Mr. Earl Cole. I say whatever I want, and people are going to have to deal with it. You already know. Chris Givo, how you doing? Thank you for joining. We got 22 likes. 22 likes. We are almost an hour into the stream. If you can hit that like button and share out the stream, I would greatly appreciate it. My Twitter is blowing up. We got a lot of shit on Twitter going down. Look at this shit. People are live and well on Twitter, getting a little bit of DJ Storms in their life. That's what I like to see. Peanuts and David Maniscalco. Did you share out the stream? I want to make sure that you did. Let's see if you did. And it looks like David did share out the stream. Thank you very much, David. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Earl Cole, make that chicken, baby. And Earl Cole will be going live around 4 or 5 p.m. Please head on over to his channel so that way you can catch him live. You are not going to want to miss a single moment of it. We got 13 people watching. I like it. I like it a lot. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up when you come in. We want to get to 30. 30 likes is the goal. 30 likes is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure you hit thumbs up. Share it out on all platforms, social media, because we got a lot more to cover, and we're going to start off with the weekly show reviews. Danielle, obviously, she's going to keep on lurking, but we're going to start off with everyone's favorite show, Monday Night Raw. Said no one ever. Strap in, people. Strap in for this one. Strap in for this one. Monday Night Raw. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about Monday Night Raw? Well, seriously, what is it that I can say that I haven't already said before? What is it that you want me to say about Monday Night Raw? What? There's nothing I can say. It's the same shit every single week. It's the same shit. Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, they had some dissension in the back. Strowman said that he's going to beat T-Bar and Mace in a 2-on-1 handicap match by himself. And what I saw here is they did not, and I repeat, they did not change their names. They didn't change their names. They took their masks off, but they didn't change their names. So you got Dominic Dijakovic and Dio Madden still going by T-Bar and Mace, T-Balls and Disgrace, even though Retribution is dead and you got their masks off. Really. So we got T-Bar and Mace with their masks off, and they are not going by their regular names. How the fuck does that make any sense? Retribution should have never even been a concept that made it past the initial creative papers. So now you got T-Bar and Mace walking around as the Great Value version of the Ascension. So T-Bar and Mace, they caused another DQ. They caused the DQ in the match with Braun Strowman. McIntyre came out to save Braun Strowman, and the babyfaces stood tall. So yeah, we're all just gonna pretend. We're all just gonna pretend like we didn't see this exact same thing happen last week But with the roles reversed, instead of McIntyre saving Strowman, it was Strowman that saved McIntyre last week. Good job. Good job. Good job. So instead of you actually writing a different script, you pretty much recycled the script from last week, but you switched the fucking roles. Because you can't be bothered to write anything creative. You can't be bothered to write anything intriguing until you get to fucking SummerSlam. You can't even be bothered to do anything until you get to August. And I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you why Braun Strowman was added to the Universal title match. Trust me, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. What do you think happened? What do you think happened after that? We got a tag team match! We got a tag team match! How riveting! We got a tag team match. So we get a tag team match, and Drew accidentally clotheslined Braun Strowman as Braun Strowman was doing the Strowman Express thing. Strowman Express ran into a fucking roadblock. His name was Drew McIntyre. Adnan Virk screamed, "We're gonna need a bigger boat." And he was actually trending on social media. I didn't really give a shit. I don't really give a shit about Adnan. I literally don't give a shit about Adnan Virk. I don't care. I really don't care about Adnan Virk. I really just have no energy to rant about Adnan Virk. I don't. T-Balls sent Drew into the barricade, and he went back into the ring, and they win via countout. Braun Strowman then slammed McIntyre and screamed, "I tried to help you and teach you, and this is how you repay me." And then he left. And that was that. That was that, and we get McIntyre and I almost said Sheamus, and Strowman later on, and if Strowman won, he would be added to the Backlash match with Drew and Lashley. Miz TV, I know this is Danielle's favorite part of the show, Miz TV, because Danielle loves the Miz. Miz TV with Jackson Riker and Elias. John Morrison was back, and they said they're going to do a concert, and they do Hey Hey Hop Hop Unplugged. Johnny Drip Drip, MCMIZ, I don't know what the fuck Elias and Jackson Riker called themselves. So they were singing Hey Hey Hop Hop Unplugged. Hey hey ho ho ha ha hee hee hops and pueblos. Yeah. Great job. Hey, hey, ho, ho, San Pueblo, ha, ha. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do, but holy shit, was this bad. I'm not sure why I turned into a robot right there. So the lights go out. Damian Priest comes out and he says, "I had to see this concert in person. This performance moved me, so we came up with a plan to have a performance of our own." Woods and Kofi came out with a bass guitar case, right? And it was filled with tomatoes. Ripe tomatoes, by the way. I haven't seen tomatoes this ripe in a long, long time. Ripe tomatoes. And they started throwing the tomatoes at all four men. You heard me correctly. They came out with a bass guitar case full of tomatoes, and they chucked them at these four men. I don't know. I just want to end the stream right there. We're not even an hour into the stream. I just want to end the fucking stream right there. It is so fucking ridiculous how this is what the WWE has dissolved into. This isn't even a fucking children's show. This isn't even a children's show. Children make fun of this shit. This is the shit that children make fun of. Children make fun of other children for watching this shit. This ain't a fucking kid's show. This is a fucking clown show. The fact that Damian Priest is associated with this shit. This is devaluing Damian Priest. And he won the fucking match. He won the fucking match with the New Day. But this is devaluing Damian Priest. Elias, Miz, Jackson Riker versus Damian Priest and the New Day. Damian Priest and the New Day win. Woods rolled up Riker for the win. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? The only thing that I'm going to be asking, here's what I'm going to ask. And I'm going to ask this every single week. I'm going to ask this every single week. I'm going to ask this every single week until it ends. Is this the end? Is this the end of this program? Is Damian Priest done feuding with The Miz? Because he's been feuding with The Miz for 3 fucking months. Get him in there with Ricochet. Get him in there with Gulak. Get him in there with Ali. Get him in there with McIntyre. Get him away from the fucking Miz. Get him away from The Miz. The Miz sucks. Fuck The Miz. Sonya Deville, who's a SmackDown associate, she's on Monday Night Raw. She brought in Charlotte Flair, which, by the way, we live by a code here on the channel, and that code is... Do re mi fa sol la ti do. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. Fuck Charlotte Flair! Fuck Charlotte Flair. And all of her supporters. Fuck Charlotte Flair. If I can get a fuck Charlotte Flair, and I need everyone to type fuck Charlotte Flair in the chat. Please, if everyone can type fuck Charlotte Flair in the chat, I would be ecstatic. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. So, Sonya Deville, which I still don't know why the fuck Sonya Deville is a WWE official, why she's not wrestling on the show. Shit, I got like 5 more fucking pages to review for Monday Night Raw. Sonya Deville brought out Charlotte Flair. She introduced Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair came out. The referee that she woman-handled last week, Eddie Oringo, he was in the ring too. Sonya gave Charlotte the opportunity to say what she needed to say. She called Adam Pearce's decision a little hasty. Oh no, Adam Pearce's decision was not hasty. It was 1,000% justified because Adam Pearce knows that Charlotte Flair is fucking trash. So Charlotte then apologized to management, to the WWE Universe, and to Eddie Oringo. She apologized to Eddie. Eddie said that he accepts her apology. Sonya Deville said that Charlotte's suspension has officially been lifted, and she'll return to action with Eddie as the ref. Eddie then apologized to Charlotte. Pierce was in the back waiting for Sonya Deville, and Sonya told him that this was a last-minute thing and that she was very sorry. Pierce said, "I might just accept that apology if I actually believed it." So, this was clearly done last minute. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. They weren't thinking at all. I don't give a shit about Charlotte Flair. I don't give a shit about any of this. Charlotte Flair is trash. The show is trash. The storyline is trash. WWE is trash. Absolute trash. But here's what I will say. The one glaring positive. The one glaring positive that could come out of the storyline is Adam Pearce being so mad that he fires Sonya Deville, and Sonya Deville returns to in-ring action, where she should be. Which I don't fucking know why you even decided to bring her back if you weren't going to bring her back as an in-ring performer. Seriously, she can go to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is in serious fucking need of something to spark up some interest in the women's division. I don't know why you wouldn't fucking want to push Sonya Deville, especially after she had the best women's feud of 2020 outside of Sasha and Bayley. I don't know why the fuck you even decided to bring her back if you were just going to put her in a fucking suit. She shouldn't have even came back at all. Get her out of this official role and put her in the fucking ring. Put her in the ring. Sheamus come out. He says he was going to issue an open challenge. He bragged about beating down Humberto. That's what he called him, Humberto. He said Humberto doesn't belong in the ring with the United States champion. He said, come on out and have a swing at old Shamey. But this beauty will not be on the line. So Humberto Carrillo then came out. Sheamus goes on and says, are you serious, lad? Are you loco, S.A.? So Sheamus then tried to beat down Humberto again. Carrillo fought back. He stood tall in the ring. And he did a suicide dive, sending Sheamus over the announce table. And he walked off. And that was pretty much that. Sooner rather than later, we're going to get Humberto versus Sheamus. Humberto is going to get the title opportunity by pinning Sheamus in a non-title match, and then Sheamus is going to beat him at the pay-per-view, and then Humberto's going to go back to catering. I just saved you the next 4 weeks of television. You don't even need to watch anything concerning Humberto and Sheamus. Humberto's going to beat Sheamus in a non-title match, then he's going to get the title shot at the pay-per-view, and then Sheamus is going to retain. Simple. We had Bobby Lashley and Montel Vontavious Porter coming out. Lashley said, I walked out of WrestleMania, still the WWE Champion. Drew was at my feet, crumpled up like a dollar bill on the sidewalk. MVP says, why would the WWE treat their most dominant champion so poorly? Lashley ain't Roman, MVP. So he was obviously referring to the match with Strowman and McIntyre, and if Strowman wins, he'll be added to the title match. MVP was calling the idea of a triple threat match disgusting, and Lashley promised to leave Backlash still the WWE champion. And that was it. Nothing crazy. Nothing special. Riddle, Matthew Riddle, or Riddle, I don't know why I said Riddle. Matthew Riddle was being interviewed by Kevin Patrick, and he was then approached by Randy Orton. Randy Orton said, I don't know what planet you're from. Riddle said, I'm from Earth. Orton said, shut up. Last week, said Orton, you sorta earned my respect. You also said if we were a tag team, our name should be RK Bro, and I hate to admit it, but it's kinda catchy. So I took the liberty of getting us a tag team match in the ring tonight if we wanted. Riddle accepted. And then Kevin Patrick said, well, that was unexpected. Riddle said, totally, bro. And that was it. Now, call me crazy. Well, I get called crazy a lot by a lot of people because I am the smartest fucking man alive. And when someone speaks the truth, when someone is smarter than the average person, they are automatically called crazy. I mean, I'm called crazy every single day because, again, like I said, I am the smartest man alive. Nobody can touch me. But I don't know if you guys sense this, but I sensed something there. There was something there. There was something there. There was something that could morph into an enjoyable segment with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. There was something there that could morph into something good. This has potential. Now, will it morph into something enjoyable remains to be seen. Matter of fact, I expect WWE to pull the plug on this after 3 weeks, similar to what they did with the Hurt Business. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle took on Cedric, Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin. So Riddle was isolated. He fought back, made the tag to Orton. Nice power slam to Benjamin. Orton hit the RKO to Cedric. And then Orton tagged in Riddle, draping DDT to Shelton, floating bro by Riddle, and Matt Riddle and Randy Orton get their first win. And I'm not sure if you sensed this, but it's like Randy Orton was enjoying himself. And again, like I said earlier on in the stream, that only bodes well for Matt Riddle. And you know what? For the second week in a row, they were the best thing on the show. They could very well morph into the best thing on Monday Night Raw, and they could end up winning the tag team titles. And to be quite honest, I'd fucking give them the tag team titles. I'd give them the fucking tag team titles at WrestleMania Backlash. Why the fuck not? So, we then move on to Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax versus Asuka, Naomi, and Lana. Oh, Lord. There's two highlights to this match. Number one, Nia Jax won the match with a leg drop to Lana. And number two, earlier on in the match before commercial, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke came out and they threw a bucket of water on Shayna Baszler. Nia Jax ran to Shayna Baszler, slipped in, or Nia Flapjacks, excuse me. She ordered about 75% of the fucking menu at IHOP. Nia Flapjacks with maple syrup and a dab of butter so it slides down easy, slips in the fucking water, and then you have Reginald dragging her through the puddle of water. This is what the women's division has devolved into. Two grown women throwing a bucket of water on another grown woman, and then yet another grown woman slipping in the puddle, and then having a grown man drag her in the puddle of water. I'm at a loss for words. I'm literally at a loss for words. I'm literally at a loss for words, man. I don't know. Alexa's Playground. Who gives a fuck about Alexa? Who gives a fuck about Alexa Bliss? Alexa goes, you can have a lily of your own. She goes, look into my eyes and concentrate. Think dark thoughts. Think twisted thoughts. Repeat after me. Lily, lily, lily. You want to talk about dark thoughts? Just watch Monday Night Raw. Now picture something peaceful. Lily then jumped up at the camera and screamed like one of these YouTube videos. Bliss said, it's time to unleash Lily to play. Don't blame me for what happens next. Lily made me do it. She laughed, and that was it. That was that. Alexa Bliss is a shitty professional wrestler. I don't give a shit what you say. She is a shit pro wrestler. That is a fact. Get it through your thick fucking skulls, you fucking retards. Alexa Bliss is not going to help the women's division whatsoever. Alexa Bliss needs to be a fucking manager, no matter who she's with, no matter what she's done. She is a terrible professional wrestler. You retards. Thank you. Moving on to the next segment. Charlotte Flair versus Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose actually looked very, very good in this. And Charlotte doesn't make anyone look good. It wasn't Charlotte, it was Mandy Rose herself. Mandy Rose made herself look good. So Mandy took over control. Big missile dropkick for a 2. We had a big boot from Charlotte for a 2. Charlotte was going on, arguing with the ref. Count 1, 2, 3. Charlotte eventually hit natural selection for the win. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. Charlotte Flair sucks. The women's division sucks. This show sucks. This storyline sucks. WWE sucks! It sucks. McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. This match sucked. Mace and T-Bar T-Balls in disgrace got involved to distract Drew McIntyre. Braun Strowman was distracted by MVP as he went for a power slam. Mason T-Bar then distracted Drew. Braun won with the running power slam, and now it's a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash. Now, why is it a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash? I'll tell you why it's a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash. I'll tell you why. It is a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash for one specific reason. Braun Strowman is there to take the pin. Braun Strowman's there to take the pin. Braun Strowman is there to take the pinfall loss because either Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley are going to walk out the WWE champion, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. Drew or Lashley, they're going to walk out the WWE champion by pinning Strowman on May 16th, and then the following night on Raw, the challenger, whoever it may be, whether it be Lashley or Drew, is going to come out the next night, and they're going to say, hey, you didn't beat me. You didn't beat me at WrestleMania Backlash. You beat Braun Strowman. Therefore, I want a rematch at the next pay-per-view. And what are we going to get? We're going to get McIntyre and Lashley again. It doesn't matter who's the champion and who's the challenger. We're going to get McIntyre and Lashley again at Money in the Bank, and we're going to get 5 fucking weeks of build to Money in the Bank with the same shit between McIntyre and Lashley. Why? Because they can't be bothered to write anything new up until SummerSlam. Because they're going on a 4-month fucking vacation. Because they don't give a single shit. Raw sucked. Let's check the chat. We need to get into NXT. We're going to get into NXT, which is very, very, very boring. Charlie sees all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Joe Fo in the ring. You are fucking awesome. Promoter of the year, Tony Khan. How you doing? You are new to the channel. Please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. It is vital that you hit that like button. How are you doing, Miguel Almaguer? I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I am not too good with names, but thank you very much for coming in. Please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit the like button when you come in and you share out the stream. We want to get some more people in here. We want to get as many likes as we possibly can, so I need y'all to share the stream out and continue to hit the like button. So please, 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 please share it out. Share it out. Now, we are going to get into the NXT portion of the review. Yes, allergies suck. Don't remind me. Allergies absolutely suck. So, NXT. NXT. I don't know what's going on with NXT. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't. It really wasn't a bad show, but there's just no energy behind NXT. There isn't. And a lot of people are blaming that on USA Network and the 2 hours. I'm here to tell you it's not that. It's not that at all. The reason why NXT is suffering right now and there's just no energy behind it, it's because of 3 reasons. Number 1, Vince McMahon killed NXT last year. From October of 2019 to March of 2020, NXT felt like NXT. But ever since WrestleMania 36 ended, nothing about NXT has felt the same. And that's because Vince McMahon infiltrated NXT. The reason why NXT was put on the USA Network was specifically to try and put AEW out of business. And when Vince realized that AEW was not going out of business, he just decided to keep NXT on the USA Network to prevent the growth of AEW for as long as possible. Everyone wanted NXT to go on Tuesdays except for Vince. Vince did everything that he could to keep NXT on Wednesdays to prevent AEW's growth for as long as possible. And that was one of the main reasons that killed NXT. Vince's influence. That was number one. Number two, Vince McMahon purged so many talented individuals from NXT that were in the main event scene. Damian Priest, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and Mia Yim. All these individuals were purged from NXT, and Vince took them without any regard for the future of NXT, and Triple H, he had no time to build up guys like Bronson Reed and Cameron Grimes and Kushida and all these other individuals, Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. He didn't have any time to build them up into the main event scene to take the spots of a Keith Lee or a Matt Riddle or a Dominic Dijakovic or a Damian Priest. Neither of these individuals, none of these individuals should be on the main roster, if we're going to be quite honest with you. None of them should be. The only guy that should be on the only two guys in NXT right now that should be on the main roster is Karrion Kross and Adam Cole. Keith Lee should still be in NXT. Dominic Dijakovic should still be in NXT. Mia Yim should still be in NXT. And Damian Priest should still be in NXT. Adam Cole and Karrion Kross should be on the main roster. But instead, Vince purged all this fucking talent, and Triple H had no time to build up the new talent to take the main event spotlight. So he's pretty much pushing talent that isn't ready for that spotlight yet. That's number two. And number three, the third reason is all this money. The third reason is all this money. All the money that WWE's making and this laziness mentality, it's starting to seep into NXT. Because NXT, why should we put any effort into NXT? Why should we put effort into anything that we do on our weekly television, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, if we already have all this money? The lazy mentality is starting to seep into NXT. Those are the three reasons why NXT does not feel the same. Those are the three reasons why NXT has absolutely no energy behind it. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a bad show whatsoever, but there's just no energy, no intrigue. There's just no sense of urgency. None. The show wasn't bad, but I understand why a lot of people are not watching NXT. Dakota Kai and Mercedes Martinez, they kicked off the show. This wasn't a bad match whatsoever. I just hated how it ended in a DQ. I fucking hate DQ finishes. They're just so overdone, so overplayed. So, Dakota Kai and Mercedes Martinez, this was actually a damn good match for what it was. These two women are great at what they do. Mercedes Martinez is a fucking beast. Mercedes Martinez is an absolute fucking beast. So, Kai kept the aggression on Martinez before Martinez took over with a crucifix forward DDT move for a 2. Looked very, very nice. Coming back from commercial, Kai with a code breaker. Very nice code breaker for a 2. Martinez came back with a nasty discus elbow. A nice butterfly suplex barrage. Raquel tried to get involved, but she got punched by Martinez. Martinez went for the win, but Raquel caused the DQ, and she attacked Martinez. And she sent her into the barricade, sent her into the post. She lawn darted her into the fucking barricade. Looked fucking brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. Raquel looking very, very impressive. And we are going to get Raquel and Mercedes Martinez for the NXT Women's Championship in 2 weeks. That's going to be a damn good fucking match right there. That's going to be a damn good match. We got Danielle's favorite wrestler. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen right here. I, Cameron Grimes, am going to get me a nice, slick, and solid golden watch. And when I get this golden watch, I'm going to strap it on my wrist, and I'm going to the moon. Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes, he went to the jewelry store, and he was going to get something nice for himself. He was waiting for a watch, and there was a guy reading a newspaper behind him. But Cameron Grimes, I love Cameron. Cameron Grimes is fantastic. Cameron Grimes is hilarious. So we get the grizzled young veterans in the ring. James Drake says MSK will compete in any sort of match except defending the NXT Tag Team Championships against the grizzled young veterans. Zach Gibson, who is fucking fantastic. Zach Gibson says they are the biggest knobheads I've ever met. The titles don't make the men make the titles. We are grizzled young veterans, soon to be recognized as the next NXT Tag Team Champions. I fucking love the grizzled young veterans. The grizzled young veterans are fucking fantastic. They are fucking fantastic. Grizzled young veterans, Zach Gibson may be the best promo in NXT right now. I fucking love the way that Zach Gibson comes off. He just comes off with such conviction. So Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher actually interrupted. And he says, we're grizzled. We're veterans. Toothless Timmy and I know a thing or two about being leaders. Double T actually started watching old footage and taking some notes. Thatcher said, they're good, but there was this one piece of footage that really caught my eye. NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. How did that work out for you? And that was the match. That was the match with Gallus, Webster, and Andrews, and the Grizzled Young Veterans. That was when the Grizzled Young Veterans lost the NXT UK Tag Team titles to Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster in a great fucking match. He then started singing, "If you hate Gibson, shoes off. If you hate Gibson, shoes off." And then what happened next was fucking hilarious. Here. Ciampa actually took his shoes off. He literally took his shoes off and hit Zach Gibson in the head with them. And we get a big brawl, and Ciampa and Thatcher end up standing tall. So this was actually very, very entertaining. I'm not going to lie. This was actually very, very entertaining between the Grizzled Young Veterans and Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. I love the way that they came off. Timothy Thatcher actually came off very, very organic. And we get a tag team match between the two. I definitely wouldn't mind that. Definitely wouldn't mind a tag team match between the two. And you actually have a nice division here in NXT. You got Imperium, you got the Grizzled Young Veterans, MSK, Legado del Fantasma, Ciampa and Thatcher. You got Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. You got Breezango. You got a lot of interesting material here. So I would not mind Ciampa and Thatcher getting a crack at MSK. And we could see MSK defend against Legado del Fantasma, Imperium. Then we get Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. And then we eventually get the Grizzled Young Veterans taking the titles off of them. So I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. I wouldn't mind that at all. Isaiah Swerve Scott was in his studio, and he says, originally, when you attacked me, Leon Ruff, I thought, what a coward. But then I thought, Swerve's actually proud of you, Leon. And Swerve has a proposal to you, considering that the ball is now in my court. Falls count anywhere. And next week, we got Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That should be fucking great. I can absolutely see Swerve winning. And I can see Swerve potentially challenging Kushida for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, which is going to be a great fucking match. Toni Storm came out. She took the mic. She said, Zoe Stark, you owe me a thank you because at TakeOver I made you famous. But when history is written, you will only be a footnote in my legendary career. And every time I slap this rookie, and this rookie's name was Zeta Ramir, I'm going to think of you. So Storm was fighting this jobber, Zeta Ramir. Zoe Stark came out mid-match, and Ramir actually won with a beautiful shooting star press for the win. I don't know what the fuck this was. I'm not sure why we have the female Leon Ruff beating Toni Storm, and I actually got to shout him out for this. I didn't really think about this, but my man Joseph Conlon of Big Fight Feel, he actually tweeted out when this happened that Toni Storm's run as this heel gimmick, Toni Storm's run ever since NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day and that triple threat match with Io Shirai, Mercedes Martinez, her run has been a failure. And to be quite honest with you, it's very, very hard for me to disagree with him. It's very, very, very hard for me to disagree with him after the way that Toni Storm has been booked. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen, but I'd like to hope that Toni Storm does get back on the right track. I don't know what's going to happen, but Toni Storm losing to the female Leon Ruff, not very good. And if anything, I know that this may be a death sentence, but I would put Toni Storm on Monday Night Raw because, again, the women's division is in need of a shot of adrenaline. The women's division is in need of something. You put Toni Storm on there, you put Sonya Deville on there. You actually have a solid foundation with Toni Storm, Sonya Deville, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Shayna Baszler. I don't really know what you're waiting for. Why you're still pushing Lana, Dana Brooke, fucking Nia Flapjacks, the whole menu at IHOP. Maple syrup with blueberries, strawberries, and 15 fucking plates full of pancakes with butter. I don't know why you're still pushing her. I don't know what's going on with Toni Storm, but it ain't looking good for Toni Storm. Toni Storm she's not doing a good job as a heel. She's not a heel. She's better as a babyface. Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory. This was actually a damn good match for what it was. Austin Theory is fantastic. Bronson Reed is fantastic. And these two worked very, very hard. Austin Theory came in with a roll-through dropkick. Very, very nice. Theory with a plancha onto Reed after Gargano super-kicked Reed. Theory was in control. Reed came back with a military press. Reed with a spinning choke slam and a running senton for a 2. Theory with a rolling blockbuster. Very nice for a 2. Reed with a Samoan drop. That also got a 2 count. Theory with a super kick. Bronson Reed came back with a very, very, very nice brainbuster. Out of nowhere, Dexter Lumiston came out very, very quietly. Gargano and Candice LeRae noticed. Indy Hartwell was walking away from him. She found herself inside the ring, and she probably found out that Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon received flowers from Dexter Lumis. Although I don't think it's Dexter Lumis. I actually think it's Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano that sent the flowers and said it was from Dexter Lumis, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Indy said you talk too much. All of a sudden, Theory then went after Lumis. Lumis shoved Indy out of the way. Lumis was taken off the apron by Austin Theory. Gargano then took out Reed, or Gargano was taken out by Bronson Reed. Reed with a lariat, and then he hit the Tsunami Splash for the 1, 2, 3. Looked absolutely fucking brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. Bronson Reed wins a damn good match, and now we get Bronson Reed and Johnny Gargano for the North American title in the near future. Finn Balor is also returning to NXT next week. That should be pretty damn good. Imperium versus Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. This is actually a pretty decent tag team match, and I'm actually very, very happy that these two teams were actually given the time to go out there and put on a decent match. Dane and Maverick, they were in control early. Nice Hurricane Rana by Dane before Bartel took over control and he isolated Drake Maverick. Coming back from commercial, Dane was taken out by Bartel. Maverick didn't see it, so Maverick kind of thought that Dane was going to turn on him, but he didn't see Imperium actually take out Killian Dane. So Dane got taken out. Maverick didn't see it. Dane came back, and he actually took on both men. Wolf was going to hit Dane with a chair, but he didn't. There was a little dissension with Imperium. Maverick then with a suicide dive taking out Bartel. Dane got taken out. Maverick with a crossbody, and Eichner rolled through. He literally muscled Drake Maverick into the European bomb. Looked fucking fantastic. He muscled him up from a crossbody position, from a power slam position, into a power bomb position. Looked beautiful. Eichner is fucking great. Imperium is fucking great. This was a decent match for what it was, and Imperium gets the win. Imperium, they are being built up quite nicely, and I can absolutely see Imperium getting the next tag team title opportunity against MSK. That's going to be a great fucking match. We got Pete Dunne in the back, and he was talking about champions. He goes, Kushida, I beat him. That title is mine whenever I want. Maybe I'll go back to the UK, face Walter, and take back the title that I made famous. Johnny, we all know the way that it goes. Bitter end. Karrion Kross, I don't need smoke and mirrors. When I walk into a room, the mood changes. I'm the baddest man in NXT. Try and prove me wrong. I dare you. I fucking love Pete Dunne. I just want to point that out there. I fucking love Pete Dunne. I don't know where he goes, but Pete Dunne Kushida, Pete Dunne Gargano, take my money there. We got Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes. Hey, Danielle, I know you're a big fan of good old Cameron Grimes. So Cameron Grimes in the jewelry store. He found a watch. Ted DiBiase, the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, he came in and he said, that's a good looking watch, but it's not a $1 million watch. And then he does his signature laugh right in Cameron Grimes' face, and that was that. This was some funny shit. This was some real funny shit right here. This is some real funny shit right here. It's very, 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 very difficult for me not to crack a smile at this. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, they were going to take on Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea, but they were attacked by Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae before the match even began. They were beating them up with the gifts from Dexter Lumis, and the Way actually stood tall. Next week, we actually got a NXT Women's Tag Team Championship street fight between Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, and The Way. I think that that's going to be a great fucking match. So NXT next week is actually looking pretty damn good. Adam Cole with a sit-down interview. Cole says, I've been better. Whether I'm 100% or not, I'm better than the entire roster. He was wearing a black suit with sunglasses, with his feet up, acting very, very cocky, just like Adam Cole should be. He goes, I make decisions. I've been carrying NXT on my back for 4 years. People get so excited to see who's going to be the next big thing. Kyle got lucky, but he's not ready for the main event spot. He says he's not sure if he's ready. He feels those insecurities, and as long as I'm in NXT, he'll never have my spot. Cross, he's good, but is he great? I don't know. That injury, was it a freak mistake, or was he not ready? I know exactly where I go. But that's none of your damn business. No matter where I go, I'll be the best damn Adam Cole. Now, are we done? Kyle O'Reilly was actually watching closely in the back. This was an excellent, excellent sit-down interview. The conviction, the confidence, everything about this is what I love about Adam Cole. And you're never going to see this. You will never fucking see this on the main roster. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you do. You are never going to see this side of Adam Cole on the main roster. Never. So, we get a promo package for Diamond Mine. And I believe I remember seeing Earl Cole mention something in the chat about how it may be for Parker Bodor. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. And then in the main event, we got Kushida and MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. This was a fun match, but I don't understand why you needed to have the champions lose. I understand what you were trying to do. I understand you were trying to make Legado del Fantasma stand out as a dominant heel faction. I understand that. And I understand you were trying to make MSK and Kushida come off like valiant baby faces, but why did we need to see MSK and Kushida take the loss? Why was it necessary? I don't understand. Champions should not be losing in non-title matches. It is fucking ridiculous. You're making them feel like everyone else. You should not be doing that. You need to make them feel important. You need to make them stand out. But that was that. That was NXT. Again, it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a bad show whatsoever, but I don't fucking understand. I really don't fucking understand why NXT is still feeling like this. Like I said, it's mainly because of Vince's influence, the lack of star power, and the laziness that comes with all of this money from WWE. That's pretty much it. Let us check the chat. I know Danielle says I'm making her hungry. We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite, which was an excellent show. Dynamite was the best show of the week, hands down. We got 27 thumbs up. 27 thumbs up, 9 people watching. Here's what I need y'all to do. Continue to share out the stream because we want to get to 30 likes. We want to get to 30 likes, and in order to get to 30 likes, you guys are going to have to share it out. We're going to get as much people in here as possible, and we want to make sure that we get to the goal. So please, get those people in here. Notify people. Get those likes. Get those likes in there. Come on. I know you want to. We are going to talk about AEW Dynamite. We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite. It is going to be a damn good session here with AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was an excellent show. A lot of great material. A lot of great material here with AEW Dynamite. They set up a lot of interesting material heading into Blood and Guts and heading into Double or Nothing as well. So, Dynamite kicked off with Brian Cage versus Adam Hangman Page. Team Taz actually attacked Adam Hangman Page before the match, before the Dark Order came out to even the odds. So the match started, and Cage had the advantage to start the match. He kept the offense on Adam Hangman Page. A deadlift superplex for a 2. Page came back with a big Orihara moonsault to the floor. Page went for the buckshot lariat, but he got caught with an F5 for a 2. Page tried to come back, but Cage with a power bomb, deadlift into the buckle bomb, and then he hit the drill claw. Yes, Adam Hangman Page suffered a drill claw, and Brian Cage got the win. Shocking and rather questionable. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Because Adam Hangman Page, he was the number 1 ranked guy. He was undefeated. And realistically, he was the only guy that made sense to go up against Kenny Omega. But then, and I gotta shout him out, Hibiki TMD. I'm not sure if he's still watching, but Hibiki, he said, maybe this gives Adam Hangman Page something to do. And then I started thinking, and I'm like, maybe this isn't a bad thing whatsoever, because realistically speaking, Adam Hangman Page is the correct guy to beat Kenny Omega for the World Championship. But anyone that faces Kenny Omega between now and All Out is in for an automatic loss. So why would you put Adam Hangman Page against Omega at Double or Nothing if he's going to lose? It wouldn't really make any sense. Now that Adam Hangman Page has moved down a peg and he lost, now he's going to go into a program with Team Taz and Brian Cage, and that's going to give him something to do for the summer en route to getting a world title match against Kenny Omega at All Out, and then he'll eventually win the title, because AEW is going to start touring in July, and with AEW touring in July, that means that fans are going to start coming back, arenas are going to be packed, Page is going to be over again, and people are going to want to see Adam Hangman Page get that victory against Kenny Omega. So in hindsight, this is not a bad move whatsoever. Plus, it protected Page because Brian Cage and Team Taz attacked him before the bell. So in hindsight, this is not the worst thing in the world. This keeps Adam Hangman Page away from Kenny Omega just a little bit longer because, again, Omega's not losing. You need to place people against Omega that are over, that are going to give Omega good matches, but ultimately can take a loss in the end because, again, Omega is not losing. Do we have an outsider come in? Do we have a potential Will Ospreay or a Kazuchika Okada come in and face Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing? Do we see Sami Callihan get the shot at Double or Nothing? Do we see Eddie Kingston versus Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing like I originally thought we were going to see? Maybe, and here's something that a lot of people didn't take into consideration. Page lost. But the number 2 ranked contender, he won his match. On Dynamite. And that guy is Orange Cassidy. I don't know about you, but Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega, that don't sound like a bad match at Double or Nothing to me. It makes sense. Cassidy's number 1 ranked. Cassidy is over. No one's going to boo Orange Cassidy. He's a great fucking wrestler, and he can ultimately take a loss in the end, and he'll be fine. And Kenny Omega, he could bring Orange Cassidy to the match of his fucking life. He could bring Orange Cassidy to the match of his life. So, I don't know who's going to face Omega. I don't know who's going to face Omega at Double or Nothing, but I don't mind this. Because it keeps Adam Hangman Page away from Kenny Omega just a little bit longer. So that way, Page can be built up, and then when the time is right, then you can take the title off of Omega and you can put it on Page. Here you go. So I didn't mind this. Now, could it have been done without ruining Page's winning streak? Yeah, I get it. We'll see what happens. We get Mike and Matt Seidel versus the Young Bucks. This is actually a very good match for 10 minutes. The Bucks were in control before Matt Seidel got the hot tag. Matt Seidel lit up the Bucks. Seidel with a double team offense on the Bucks. We had a rolling senton and a stereo meteora, but Matt was able to kick out. We had a crucifix pin, but Matt just got the shoulder up. Seidel then took a nasty bump on his knee with the rope. Nick distracted the ref, and Matt with a low blow, a split leg and a low blow, and the Bucks took advantage, hit a double super kick and a BTE trigger, and the Young Bucks get the win, rightfully so. Out of nowhere, SCU, the number 1 ranked tag team, they interrupted the celebration. Frankie said, we got the new Young Bucks, the new terribly dressed Young Bucks. I promised next time SCU lost, we were done. Now we stand here number 1 contenders and undefeated. Daniel said he's pissed because he doesn't see his friends anymore. He sees entitled, overdressed bitches. And when you find your balls, we'll take those titles and make this company a better place with you assholes out of it. This was a very, 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 very good promo. Very good promo right here by SCU. And next week we got SCU versus the Acclaimed versus Jurassic Express versus the Varsity Blondes. where the winners will face the Young Bucks on May 12th. So SCU, absolutely they're going to win. Absolutely they're going to win. And SCU being used to get the Young Bucks even more over as heels, I can absolutely get behind that. You ain't going to hear a complaint out of me. Good stuff right here. Moving on to what was the best match of the night. It was Orange Cassidy versus Penta El Cero Miedo. So they had all of these theatrics to start off the match. Penta was taking off his glove. Cassidy was putting his hands in the pockets, putting his sunglasses on. So Penta caught Cassidy mid-dive into a military press. This was fucking impressive right here. Mid-dive into a military press, and then he one-handed military pressed Orange Cassidy right onto the apron. That was fucking impressive. So, coming back from commercial, we had a crossbody by Cassidy, but Penta turned the satellite DDT into a brainbuster. Cassidy then kicked out. Penta then with a pump handle driver for a 2. Very, very, very impactful. We had a super kick by Cassidy, a super kick by Penta. Orange Punch was countered with a super kick. We had a Canadian Destroyer on Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy then fought back, hit the beach break, but Penta kicked out. Penta then with a thrust kick to Orange Cassidy. Cassidy with the Stun Dog Millionaire, a diving DDT, and a satellite DDT, a very, very, very close 2 count right there. All of a sudden, Alex Abrahantes came out. He took the mic and he said, you know, Penta said if you thought what he said about Trent's mom was bad, all of a sudden then Trent came out and Orange Cassidy took Abrahantes into the ring. The ref tried to get him out. Trent gave Cassidy the mic and he hit the Orange Punch with the mic for the 1, 2, 3. This was a great fucking match right here between Orange Cassidy and Penta El Cero Miedo. And I can absolutely see Orange Cassidy as a potential contender for Kenny Omega and the AEW World Championship at Double or Nothing. We got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, she was interviewed and she went on about being number 1 in the win-loss rankings, and she said it's time to remind everyone why she's the face of the division. Shida later. So Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida. Britt Baker is taking that title. Tony Schiavone, he introduced the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle for the Parlay. Both arrived with security, which looked great. We had a 5-minute period. We have a 5-minute period one-on-one, and every 2 minutes, a new member will enter the ring. Shawn Spears took the mic, and he said, "Advantage Pinnacle. We are men that will die for each other. Sammy, when was the last time you wrestled a match? I'm the guy who's gonna stomp on your head while you're drowning." Sammy then took the mic and said, "I don't believe you. You were a failure here, and you were a failure where you used to work." So Sammy, going straight for the neck. You want the advantage? You got it. I'll start, and I'll fight everyone. Cash Wheeler then took the mic, and he talked to Santana and Ortiz, and he goes, "Listen, don't bring this version of Santana and Ortiz. Don't bring the Jericho lapdogs, or else you're not making it out." Dax goes, "You're in my world, and I ain't afraid to die. I want you to go and hug your kids, Santana, and tell them that you love them, and whisper a message from Uncle Dax, Daddy ain't coming home." So, it was pretty fucking intense there between Santana, Ortiz, and FTR. I would fucking love to see a match between Santana, Ortiz, and FTR, and I think that's what they're building towards. So, Santana took the mic and he said, "You ever been locked up? Because we have, and I'll let my hands do the talking." MJF then took the mic, and when MJF speaks, you fucking listen. MJF took the mic and he said, Chris, thank you. You want to hear those words from everyone. You were the draw and the bridge for the lapsed fan. But I can't imagine the pressure you must feel. You put the company on the line every single time you come out. You look exhausted, Chris. Come next week, I'll do you a solid, and I'm going to take that heavy burden of a crown off your head. I'm going to take that heavy burden of a crown off your head. And my family will replace the inner circle. And as I look over your body, I will utter those two magic words, thank you. Your spot is mine. Chris then took the mic and he said, how dare you? You think you can inherit a spot? Maybe it's a Tetris game. You want a spot, you gotta earn it. And at 25, I was curtain jerking, and I wrestled shows in Japan and Germany to earn respect. And if you want my spot, you gotta beat me. Chris said, since day one, we were blood and guts, and this family's been a family since day one. You're gonna have to kill us to make us surrender. We'll stomp on you. And if 1963 was the summer of love, he said 2021 is going to be the summer of violence, and next week's summer starts early for you. So it looks like Blood and Guts shaping up to be a pretty damn good fucking show. And I cannot wait. I cannot fucking wait to see what they have in store. Midnight Rose, thank you for joining. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up and share the stream out. Share the stream out to everyone because we want to reach our goals. That's what I like to see. So, we got Michael Nakazawa. We got Michael Nakazawa in the ring, or MT. MT Nakazawa, as he's called now. And he was in the ring. Eddie Kingston came out to call out Kenny. And he was like, listen, what is this? What is this? We ain't doing this. I ain't here for this guy. I want you, Kenny. So Kenny says, you don't get me. You get knock. So Kenny was beating up Nakazawa. He put a chair around Nakazawa's leg. Kenny says, what are you going to do? Kingston then threatened to break his ankle. Kenny then called for Brandon Cutler. But then Jon Moxley came out. He attacked Kenny Omega. And Don Callis was on the apron. They put a chair around Kenny Omega's leg. And they threatened to break his ankle. Callis says, look, we'll give you whatever you want. What do you want? Moxley said, we want a tag team match with Kenny and this dipshit with the laptop. Callis accepted, and the match was made for next week. I don't know what's going on. We could see Kingston versus Moxley. Maybe we could see Kingston and Moxley versus the Young Bucks for the tag team titles. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But very, very interesting scenario developing between Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, and Eddie Kingston. Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander. I love me some Chris Statlander, the galaxy's greatest alien. This was a very good match for the 9 minutes that it went. These two actually worked very, very well together. Penelope Ford's very, very underrated as well. Penelope Ford's very, very underrated. Statlander and Ford, they went right after each other. Ford with double knees to the gut. She was in control. Chris Statlander came back with an uppercut in the corner. He had a big running knee to the head and a blue thunder bomb for a 2. Great shit. Great shit. Awesome shit right here. We had a German suplex by Ford and a diving blockbuster by Ford for a 2. Statlander with a flipping leg gourd buster for a 2. We had a spinning heel kick by Ford for a 2. Ford was then on the receiving end of the Big Bang Theory. And Chris Statlander gets the win. Chris Statlander, by this time next year, she is going to be the AEW Women's World Champion. Just watch. Just watch. Dustin Rhodes, Billy Gunn, and Lee Johnson versus The Factory. The Factory came off of the Nightmare Family bus, which looked pretty interesting. So the brawl started immediately. Dustin Rhodes was isolated. Lee Johnson got the hot tag. He lit up Aaron Solo. He looked damn good. Lee Johnson looked really damn good. Lee Johnson looked really damn good here. We had a beautiful Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2. Anthony Ogogo then punched Johnson in the gut. That seems to be all that Anthony fucking Ogogo does nowadays. QT Marshall got the win. Very standard, but Johnson looked good. Lee Johnson looked good. That's all I care about. Very standard 6-man tag. Camarado then hit Dustin Rhodes with a bull rope. Then they left. The Gun Club then came out to attack QT. QT went off to the bus, and Cody was inside the bus. He then attacked QT Marshall, and they brawled on top of the bus. We had a figure 4 on top of the bus, and it was made next week. It's going to be QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes. We also got Yuji Nagata versus Jon Moxley. That's right. Yuji Nagata versus Jon Moxley for the IWGP United States Championship. That's going to be on May 12th. That's going to be great. The Forbidden Door is fucking open. We also got a Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match. Britt Baker is also going to be in action next week. And before we got the main event, Miro attacked Kip Sabian in the back, and he threw him into the lockers, and he slammed his hand into the door. Miro is officially done with Kip, and it looks like Miro is going to attack Kip Sabian, or he's going to get a match with Kip Sabian, excuse me. He's going to get a match with Kip Sabian, probably at Double or Nothing, and Miro's going to defeat Kip Sabian, more likely than not. We got Darby Allin. Darby Allin versus 10. Number 10 for the TNT Championship. This was a damn good match. And good on 10. Good on Preston Vance. I really wasn't expecting Preston Vance to be anything, but I appreciate a guy like Preston Vance getting an opportunity, even though he wasn't going to win. And Preston Vance looked pretty damn good here. So Darby Allin, he was getting tossed around by 10. Darby Allin then countered a gorilla press with a cross body for a 2. Then he had an over-the-top stunner and a Fujiwara armbar. Darby then, with a swanton bomb to the outside, taking out 5 and 10 on the floor. The Dark Order and Sting, they got into a little face-to-face confrontation before Ethan Page slammed Darby into the ring post. Ref didn't see it. We then had a slingshot German suplex by number 10, but Darby Allin still kicked out. Darby then ripped at the mask of 10. 10 locked in the full Nelson, but Darby, just before he faded, Darby Allin walked up the turnbuckle ropes, floated back into a bridge pin, and Darby Allin got the win over 10. Retains the TNT Championship. 10 looked damn good. Afterwards, Scorpio Sky blindsided Sting, and Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, they attacked, and Sky with the heel hook on Sting as Page made Darby Allin watch, and I thought this was great. Afterwards, Lance Archer and 10 came out to save them. So I don't know what's going on there, but I can absolutely see either Ethan Page or Scorpio Sky mixing it up with Darby Allin, but in the end, I can absolutely see Lance Archer ultimately getting the TNT Championship. I don't understand why they wouldn't give Lance Archer the TNT Championship. NXT UK. Now, Dynamite was a very good show. Great show, actually. We are going to take a look at the chat before we move on. Of course, Danielle would be fangirling if Sledge was here. Her boo, Sledge. Midnight Rose, Roman is indeed the head of the table. That's why I got this shirt on. He's the Tribal Chief. The Tribal Chief. Also, Lily will never get me. Lily's got nothing on me. Lily is trash. Lily's trash. DJ Storms is a god. I am a god of pro wrestling analytics. NXT UK. Let's talk about NXT UK. Why don't we, people? NXT UK was not a bad show whatsoever. NXT UK was a pretty damn good show. It was very wrestling heavy, and they did build to some interesting material coming within the next few months. Now, the beginning match, it was a decent match, but I don't see anything in the future of Rohan Raja or Tio Man. So Tio Man took on Rohan Raja. So Tio Man started chopping and punching Raja. I appreciate the intensity from Tio Man. We had a nice sliding forearm. Tio Man was then worn down. Raja came back with a very nice drop kick for a 2. We had a pop-up spine buster by Rohan Raja for a 2. Looked very, very nice. Tio Man then with a diving DDT from the middle rope, and the crossface was then locked in, and it was locked in good. Obviously, Rohan Raja was not tapping, and while Tio Man had the crossface locked in, he popped the left shoulder back. If you didn't see it, it didn't look as bad as they made it out to be, but he popped the left shoulder back of Rohan Raja. And Rohan Raja, you can hear him saying, "It popped out, it popped out." And Tio Man ended up winning by a technicality. A decent match, but Tio Man ain't going anywhere. Just look at him. He ain't going anywhere. Tio Man then took the mic and he said, "I don't know if you're just stupid or brave, but perhaps you will see that the eye is watching." So obviously pointing to his third eye, and that was pretty much that. A decent match. Rohan Raja didn't look half bad. Tio Man is a good wrestler, but again, they're not going anywhere. I'm sorry. We had a promo with Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and Danny Luna talking about growing up in the slums of Wales and talked about subculture. So it looks like we got a new faction. It's called Subculture. Rather interesting. And I know how good Andrews and Webster are, but I actually think that this is going to benefit Danny Luna the most. This is going to benefit Danny Luna the most, and this is really going to bring Danny Luna into the eyes of many other individuals. I think this is really going to help Danny Luna get to that next level, if you know what I mean. Sid Scala, he introduced the Forever Champ, Kaylee Ray. God bless you, Rob Wells Jr., please stay safe. He introduced Kaylee Ray. She came out to the ring. Kaylee Ray goes on and said that, Sid, that was good, but it wasn't good enough. I am the longest reigning women's champion in all of WWE, and no one compares to Kaylee Ray. Sid Scala said he will have a 5-women gauntlet match where the winner will become the new #1 contender to the NXT UK Women's Championship. The competitors are Xia Brookside, Isla Dawn, Ginny, Danny Luna, and Amelia McKenzie. And they were all on the stage. Kaylee Ray said, "I'm letting you know, none of you are good enough to beat the Forever Champ." Very, very, very interesting. I don't mind this whatsoever, and it looks like they're looking to extend Kaylee Ray's championship title reign just a little bit more. Kaylee Ray, I fucking love Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray is great. Kaylee Ray is fantastic, and whoever takes that title off Kaylee Ray is really going to be something. And I guarantee you that we're going to see Eva Valkyrie take the title off Kaylee Ray, even though she was beaten by Mako Satamora. We'll see what happens. But I can absolutely see Eva Valkyrie still in top contention of taking that title off of Kaylee Ray. In 3 weeks, we got A-Kid versus Tyler Bate in an NXT UK Heritage Cup match. So I'm not sure what's going to go on there, but it really does seem as though they may be giving the NXT UK Heritage Cup to Tyler Bate even though I would not give it to Tyler Bate. I would actually possibly give it to either Ben Carter or Joe Coffey if I was booking this. But I do not want to see A-Kid drop the title to Tyler Bate. I would have Tyler Bate and Trent Seven keep Mustache Mountain together, and they could go after Pretty Deadly in the NXT UK Tag Team titles. That's what I would do. Levi Muir versus Shaw Samuels. Shaw Samuels, he won with a spine buster. Really nothing crazy. Eva Valkyrie versus Mako Satamora. This was a great fucking match. This was a great fucking match right here. This was the best match of the entire night, and this may have been the best women's match of the entire week. If you guys did not see this match, go out of your way to watch Mako Satamora versus Eva Valkyrie. This was a great fucking match. Valkyrie kept the aggression on Mako. She was in control. Mako came back with an inverted figure four. Valkyrie got to the ropes. Mako with a stiff kick for a 2. Valkyrie came back with a Pele kick for a 2. Mako then got powerbombed off the middle rope. Valkyrie could not put her away. Mako then with a Doomsday Saito and a spinning heel kick. We had Valkyrie hitting the moonsault, a beautiful moonsault from the middle rope for a very, very close 2. We had a cartwheel axe kick, an axe handle to the back, but Valkyrie would not stay down. Mako Satamora decided to end this with the Scorpio Rising that connected for the 1, 2, 3. Mako Satamora defeats Eva Valkyrie. Great match. Not sure why they would have Valkyrie lose. I'm pretty sure that they're going to rebuild this back up, and Valkyrie is potentially going to get another win back against Mako Satamora, but I think that this was a great match. I just don't agree with Valkyrie losing. Maybe they want to wait until the crowds are back to pull the trigger on Eva Valkyrie. I don't know. But this was a great match. The best women's match of the week. Please go out of your way to watch it. Next week looks like a pretty damn good show. We got Ilya Dragunov versus Dave Mastiff. We also got Supernova 11 sessions with Nathan Fraser. And we got Kenny Williams versus Amir Jordan in a no DQ match. Loser leaves NXT UK. So I don't know who's leaving NXT UK, but it looks like that Kenny Williams could be leaving NXT UK because he was the one that pitched this. I don't know where Kenny Williams goes, but it really does look like Kenny Williams' NXT UK career could be over. So, in the main event, decent six-man tag. We had Gallus versus Eddie Dennis, T-Bone, and Primate. They are now calling themselves Symbiosis. This wasn't a bad match whatsoever. Gallus wouldn't control early. T-Bone was then isolated. Dennis came in with the tag. We had a spinning side slam to Joe Coffey for a 2. Joe Coffey then with a springboard crossbody before he made the tag to Wolfgang. He lit up everyone. Primate then tried to cut him down. Mark Coffey then came in with a half Nelson slam, a middle rope bulldog for a 2. Dennis then came in with a modified side slam, but Coffey kicked out. We had a diving headbutt by Primate, but Joe Coffey saved it. We had some triple team offense by Gallus, and Gallus ended up winning with Joe Coffey hitting Aura Best for the bells. All action, good stuff here. This was a damn good episode of NXT UK. Nothing too crazy here, but it looks like they could be heading into an interesting direction, even though I do believe that NXT UK has suffered the most. NXT UK has absolutely suffered the most from this pandemic. They need fans. They need takeovers. Seriously. They've been suffering the most. I'm sorry. Matt Moody, thank you very much for hitting that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much for hitting that thumbs up. You are fantastic. Earl Cole says that me and Danielle are the greatest. You damn right, we are the best. We're like Santana and Ortiz. The best. The best. The best. I love it. I love it. So, We got Smackdown. We got Smackdown. Smackdown, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily a bad show. It wasn't necessarily a bad show. But I don't know. Everything on the show, it just does not feel important outside of one or two things. It wasn't necessarily a bad wrestling show because we did get a great main event. We got a fucking classic in the main event. Apollo Crews and Biggie was very good. Aleister Black, he's being built up. I don't know. SmackDown, it's hit or miss. SmackDown is hit or miss. We're gonna go over everything, and we're gonna talk about the potential future of Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, especially after that main event. So Bianca Belair kicked off the show. She said, "Put your hands together." She was going to introduce the Street Profits, but the Dirty Dogs interrupted. Ziggler said, "We're going to kick off with the Dirty Dogs." Street Profits then came out. Ford was like, "Did you interrupt the SmackDown Women's Champion?" Bayley then came out. She interrupted the Profits, and Bayley took the mic and laughed right in Bianca's face. And Belair slapped Bayley, and we got into a big brawl going into commercial. And we get a six-person tag, which wasn't necessarily a horrible match, but holy shit, did you really have to have the champions lose? I'm sick and fucking tired of this shit. I'm sick of it. Why do you constantly have the champions lose in a non-title match? I don't get it. I, honest to God, do not fucking get it. I don't understand why we constantly have the Street Profits beating the Dirty Dogs, or the Dirty Dogs losing, or fucking the Raw Tag Team Champions, whoever the fuck they are, losing in non-title matches. Or you got the Cruiserweight Champion and the NXT Tag Team Champions losing in non-title matches. Champions should not be losing in non-title matches. Champions losing, and that concept needs to fucking die. Needs to fucking die. I'm telling you right now, it needs to fucking die. I'm sick and fucking tired of it. Champions losing in non-title matches needs to die, needs to go away. End of conversation. I don't want to fucking hear it. The match wasn't necessarily bad, but Street Profits then get the win. Street Profits get the win by pinning the Dirty Dogs. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Champions lose. It would not be main roster television without the champions losing in non-title matches. So, after that, Rollins was in the back. And he predicted Braun to win the Universal title, even though we all know he wasn't. He said Cesaro isn't going to make it past next week, and yes, that's a challenge. Are you ready to take another swing? So, looks like we got Cesaro and Rollins for next week. That should be damn good. Next week, we also got Retro Smackdown. We got Old School Smackdown. I'm not sure why they're doing that. If anything, this just screams as another desperate attempt for ratings. Natalya and Tamina versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Flapjacks. 15 plates full of flapjacks with 20 pounds of syrup and 2 pounds of butter. Of course, with a fruit bowl on the side. I barely fucking paid attention to this. All I know is that Tamina won with a shitty-looking Superfly splash. Natalya and Tamina win. No shit. The champions lose. When is Tamina's contract up? Not Tamina's contract. When is Baszler's contract up? When is Shayna Baszler's contract up? Does anyone fucking know? Because if this is what you're going to do, if I was booked to lose to fucking Tamina, I would have just fucking walked. Honest to God, I would just fucking walk. It's not fucking worth it. Honest to God, it's not fucking worth it. It's not. If I am booked to lose to someone as valueless as Tamina, I know what WWE truly thinks of me, and I would just walk. Aleister Black. Aleister Black. Aleister Black had another promo. Aleister Black had another promo where he talked about his childhood. And he talked about Chapter 2, reality. Talked about Chapter 2, reality. Reality. So, he goes, look at me. You judge me. This is the time. This is the true nature of men. I don't know why I said time. This is the true nature of men. So, he goes, Chapter 2, reality. And he talks about high school and living your life on the foundation of lies. And father was quick to teach me the truth. I could give you the keys to escape, but I won't. I don't know what this means, but at least they're trying. At least they're trying with Aleister Black, but I don't have any fucking faith in them. Again, I've said it once and I'll say it again. He could be found. We could say that, oh my God, Aleister Black's back. We finally got Aleister Black. We could say how good these promo packages are, all we want. But at the end of the day, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. I am not going to believe that we are going to see Aleister Black in a prime spotlight until I actually see it. I'm not. What has WWE done to give you any hope? They've done nothing. They've done nothing. So, from there, we got Biggie versus Apollo. This was a very good match for what it was, even though it ended in a DQ. Biggie and Apollo, they work very, very well together. So, Biggie was in control early. Cruz with a suplex out to the floor. He was in control. Coming back from commercial, Biggie mounted a comeback with a belly-to-belly barrage. Cruz came back with a moonsault off the apron. Very, very nice. Biggie came out with a belly-to-belly and a big splash for a 2. Apollo came back with a punt kick for a 2. Biggie with a Uranagi for a 2. Cruz then with a Death Valley driver on the apron and a frog splash off the top, but Biggie still kicked out. Commander Aziz then attacked Biggie after Biggie hit the big ending, causing a disqualification. And afterwards, Kevin Owens came out and he went after Commander Aziz. Cruz helped, but Biggie then attacked Aziz with Owens. Sami Zayn then came out of nowhere with a haluva kick, dropping Kevin Owens. Aziz and Cruz disposed of Big E. Zayn then came in with the title, and he gave the title to Cruz, and he's like, no, we're cool. And he raised the hand. He raised the hand of Cruz, and he raised the hand of Commander Aziz. Commander Aziz said, fuck you. Not literally, but he said, fuck you, figuratively speaking, and hit him with the Nigerian nail. And Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews stood tall. Normally, I would be a little mad. And I would shit on this. But it actually didn't bother me that it ended in a DQ because it actually felt like they were operating. with a bigger picture in mind. And if that's the case, I can't really shit on that. And the bigger picture in mind would be Cruz, Owens, Zayn, and Big E. Fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. And I can't shit on that. Matter of fact, that would be a damn good match. That's a match that could rival the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-way from Extreme Rules in 2016 with The Miz, Owens, Zayn, and Cesaro. So I am all for this. That match could be the best match of the night at WrestleMania Backlash, if we're going to be quite honest here. I would go for it. I would go for it. And then in the main event, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, he got new theme music. And it sounds fantastic. Sounds like a combination of arena rock combined with the Herald Angels singing in a god, almost like a Greek mythical god. And it fits the Tribal Chief character so well, and I fucking love it. Roman Reigns, the Samoan god, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, I love it. New theme music is fucking fantastic. And let me tell you something, it really brings a sense of legitimacy to Roman Reigns. It really does. So new theme music, first off, is fantastic. The match itself was a fucking classic. Fucking classic. The match was awesome. So Bryan went right after Reigns. These two were going right after each other really, really quickly. Bryan was in control before Reigns came back with a clothesline, turning Bryan inside out. He looked to systematically wear down Daniel Bryan. Reigns came in with a powerbomb off the second rope. Looked brutal for a 2. Coming back from another commercial break, Bryan with a back superplex to Roman. That got a 2 count. Roman came back with a Samoan drop for a 2. Bryan then kicked the injured arm, similar to how Kushida does PKs to the arm. Bryan was working on the injured arm. Kicks right to the arm. Reigns then caught Bryan in a mid-suicide dive into a belly-to-belly on the floor. He went for the spear, but Bryan dodged it, and Reigns went sailing through the barricade after he attempted to spear Daniel Bryan. Coming back from the final commercial break, Daniel Bryan with a diving headbutt off the top for a 2. Bryan went for the knee, but Reigns countered with a Superman punch in midair. Bryan then hit the running knee. 1, 2, but Roman got his foot on the bottom rope, and the count was broken. Bryan went for the yes lock, but Roman Reigns fought out of it. Roman Reigns hit the spear, full on impact, but Bryan kicked out again. Reigns then looked to lock in the guillotine, but Bryan fought out, locked in the yes lock, dragged Roman to the middle of the ring. The yes lock was cinched in, but Roman Reigns did not tap. He fought out of it. Reigns then with a deadlift powerbomb. He started raining down fist on Bryan. Another powerbomb. Guillotine locked in. And Daniel Bryan passes out. And Roman Reigns retains the Universal title in a fucking classic. Afterwards, we had Roman going for chairs. He was going to do the concerto, but he was attacked by Cesaro, and Cesaro came in with the fucking uppercuts before Jey Uso came out to save Roman. They tied up Cesaro in the ropes and made Cesaro watch. They made Cesaro watch as he did the concerto. Roman did the concerto to Daniel Bryan, sending Daniel Bryan away. I don't know what this means for Bryan, but this ending was excellent. The match was a classic. The ending was excellent. But I'm sorry. It is way too early for Cesaro and Roman. I don't know why you want to do Cesaro and Roman now, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, first off, Cesaro, I'm glad that he didn't interfere, and I'm glad that Jey Uso didn't interfere. I'm glad that this match was straight up. I'm glad that Roman won clean. He won completely clean. First time he won clean since the Royal Rumble. Roman won clean, and that was it. Bryan is gone. Now, where does Daniel Bryan go? He's either going to look to do the part-time schedule, He's either looking to do the part-time schedule elsewhere. I'm not sure if he goes to AEW. I'm not sure if he goes to Impact or New Japan. I'm not sure. But him going to another promotion, definitely possible. Or he's going to go to Raw. And I'm 1,000% sure that we're going to see all of these insiders get the scoop. I'm 1,000% sure that all these insiders are going to be on top of this storyline, and we're going to get numerous amounts of reports on Daniel Bryan coming out within the next few days, leading into weeks, leading into months. So I will keep you guys updated on that. I will be sure to watch out for the dirt sheets and watch out for any insider reports that we may see. Now, as far as Cesaro goes, I'm sorry, it's too early. Way too early for Cesaro and Roman. I said it once and I'll say it again. Anyone that faces Roman between now and SummerSlam is in for an automatic loss. As we speak right now, and I've been saying it for months. Cesaro is the guy to take it off of Roman Reigns. He is the only guy right now on that roster that is the best possible person to take the title off of Reigns. There is nobody better. There is no one right now. Bryan wasn't going to do it. He's a made man. Rollins wasn't going to do it. He's a made man. Edge wasn't going to do it. He's a made man. WWE has shown no signs of pushing Shinsuke Nakamura or Sami Zayn. Apollo Crews is the Intercontinental Champion. Biggie is not ready. Kevin Owens has had his opportunities. Cesaro is your guy. So I don't understand why you're putting him against Roman Reigns now when Roman is obviously not losing. Roman doesn't even need to defend the title at Backlash. I would give him the night off. Are you going to defy him? Are you going to say he can't have a pay-per-view off? Look at what he's done in the month of April alone. He pinned Edge and Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2 to retain the Universal title, and he ended Daniel Bryan's career on Smackdown. Are you going to say he doesn't deserve a pay-per-view off? Let him have the pay-per-view off, and then build up another challenger for Money in the Bank. And then, what you can do, since Shinsuke Nakamura clearly stated in a backstage interview on SmackDown that, hey, he's waiting for Roman, why don't you do Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roman at Money in the Bank? That way, you can add on to the storyline with Cesaro, because Daniel Bryan, he's a mentor and an advocate for Cesaro. Then, if Roman Reigns beats Shinsuke Nakamura, who's a former tag team partner and tag team champion of Cesaro, that will only add to the layers on the storyline with Cesaro, and that is going to make you want Cesaro to beat Roman even more. Plus, then you can do an interim match with Biggie at Extreme Rules, and then Cesaro at SummerSlam. Number one, Cesaro is the correct man to beat Roman. Anyone that beats Roman between now and SummerSlam is in for an automatic loss. Whoever faces Roman is going to lose between now and SummerSlam, plain and simple. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. It doesn't. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. And two, if you're going to do Cesaro now, who are you giving Roman at SummerSlam? Seth Rollins? Edge? Goldberg? God fucking help us all. You're really going to give us fucking Goldberg and Roman at SummerSlam? The only way I will accept Cesaro now for Roman Reigns is if you have The Rock at SummerSlam. Now, why do I say that? Obviously, The Rock is a storyline that the WWE obviously wants to tap into. They want to see how Roman's going to handle himself against a guy like The Rock. I understand that. I get it. The Rock and Roman does sound like an intriguing storyline. But if you're going to do that, it better not be at WrestleMania for the title. If it is going to be at WrestleMania, you better fucking take the title off of Roman. You better fucking take the title off of him. Roman Reigns and The Rock does not need the title at WrestleMania. It doesn't. Nor should it have the title. We don't need The Rock taking up a WrestleMania spotlight from a young up-and-coming talent. That's the whole reason why we shit on Lesnar, the whole reason why we shit on Goldberg, the whole reason why we shit on Shane McMahon. We don't need The Rock facing Roman for the Universal title at WrestleMania. If that match is going to take place for the Universal title is to take place at SummerSlam. Why? Because you get a big money match at SummerSlam. Roman, obviously, is going to have a reign over 1 year. Roman is obviously going to have a 1-year reign at SummerSlam. Plus, he could end up holding that title past WrestleMania 38. But at the end of the day, if you do The Rock versus Roman at SummerSlam, that's going to give you an opportunity to do one of two things. You can either A, have Cesaro face Roman now, and then you can have Roman win. Then he faces The Rock at SummerSlam. Cesaro goes on a road to retribution and wins the Rumble to face Roman at WrestleMania. Or you can build up Keith Lee, who I mentioned last week could be moving to SmackDown because his soon-to-be wife, Mia Yim, is now on SmackDown. You bring Keith Lee over to SmackDown like you should, and Keith Lee being traded over from Raw to SmackDown. Daniel Bryan goes to Raw. You have Bryan on Raw, Keith Lee on SmackDown. Keith Lee, he could win the Royal Rumble, and you build up the storyline with Keith Lee and Roman, and you have Keith Lee as the one to take the title off of Roman. It's either Keith Lee or Cesaro. There's no one else right now that is the correct individual to take the title off of Roman Reigns. And unless you are doing The Rock at SummerSlam, there is to be no one else that is going to be facing Roman at SummerSlam but Cesaro. It is way too early for Cesaro. Now, the match with Bryan was excellent. It was a fucking classic. I expect Bryan to either leave or he's going to Raw. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out as time goes on, because I know the dirt sheets and the insiders are going to be all over this within the next few days, weeks, and months. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But as far as Cesaro goes, look, is it going to be a great match? Yes. Is it going to elevate Cesaro? Yes. But in no way, shape, or form should it be happening at any point in time between now and SummerSlam. If Roman Reigns versus The Rock is not the match at SummerSlam, you cannot do Cesaro now. You can't. Why would you do the match that is going to be the match where Roman's going to lose the title 4 months early? It's stupid booking. They better have a bigger plan, but I have absolutely no faith in them. And don't even, and for those of you wondering why I didn't mention Aleister Black, yeah, right. You're putting your faith and trust in Bruce Pritchard, who said that he doesn't see anything in Aleister Black, and Vince McMahon, who said Aleister Black was missing something. You're putting your faith and trust in them in order to push Aleister Black. Aleister Black, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be lucky if he even sniffs 1 week with the Intercontinental Championship. Seeing is believing with this company. Seeing is believing. Am I right? Of course I am. I'm never wrong. I'm DJ fucking Storms. And that's how we're going to end it. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. A fantastic stream today, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stream. Very, very informative. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. We got a lot of projects coming this month. And I actually got some big news. Danielle, my #1 mod here, she's going to be appearing on my channel. She'll be appearing on my channel on May 14th, because on May 14th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it's going to be the rundown for WWE WrestleMania Backlash, where me and Danielle are going to shit all over the WWE product and dissect everything going down at WrestleMania Backlash. And of course, Danielle wants a dab. Fine, I'll give you it. Boom. There's a dab for you. Are you happy, Danielle? Now, don't ever tell me to dab again. You don't boss me around here. This is my channel. This is my fucking channel here. But Danielle and I, set your calendar dates. Danielle will be appearing on my channel, and we will be dissecting WrestleMania Backlash on May 14th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will catch you guys on Monday for Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Snore, as I like to call it, because obviously Monday Night Raw, no one fucking likes watching Monday Night Raw. I am the end-all, be-all of the IWC. I am God. ladies and gentlemen, get used to it. I will catch you later. Peace.